now. Oh, hey guys, we're live. Actually, I haven't even shared the link yet. I better share the link with the guys in the Discord, um, so that they can come in. Already started, and we still haven't shared it. So how's your well? We might as well start, but I mean, they'll see this later. So how's your week been, Gav?
Been pretty good. Been pretty busy. Been some wild weather events. Just there's always something going on with the weather. Love to talk about it because the weather affects so many things. So at the moment, like this weekend has been raining here, but in Brisbane, but up north and also sort of down south, we're getting really heavy rain and there's flooding going on. So it's pretty wild sort of weather events that are happening, which is interesting because we're into March now. So yeah, it's interesting weather sort of events. So that's been sort of causing chaos, and every time we have these events, it destroys infrastructure, blocks roads, access, people get stuck. These loss of crops, supply chain issues, and then what this causes, like every time you'll see in the supermarket, you'll go to get food, and it will say there'll be no food there on the shelf, and it will say we've got supply issues, and it's because of events like these. So weather affects a lot of things. So that's what's been going on. We had our rate rise for March. I think I briefly talked about that last week, but yes, the rates have gone up again. In
They need more
Australia.
money.
So I think it was, yeah, I think it was like, I have to Google it again, but check on how many times it's went up in a row. It's quite a lot. I feel like it could be like the 10th time. I'll have to check that. But yeah, so that's what's been happening. And of course, in crypto, there's just been monumental stuff. It's kind of like, FTX. It's kind of like Terra Luna this week. Like, what's weird though is we haven't seen like a massive 1 day decline like we did with Terra Luna kind of thing. But I actually think that what's happened, and we'll talk about it tonight, is just as big. It's just as big. It just may take a little bit longer to see the fallout of it. And this is actually good news because we love Bitcoin for various reasons we always talk about. Anything that happens in the market that's negative just means we can buy Bitcoin at a lower price and we can get in at a better price. It's as simple as that. Because a lot of these other coins and fiat-based stable coins, they're not, when it comes to their circulating supply, it's not like Bitcoin with 21 million, right? It's set in stone, and the supply is practically all out. We know exactly what's going on with Bitcoin, but all these other protocols can be manipulated, modified, your funds stolen, all this sort of stuff. And this is why we stick to Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
And yeah, talk into that tonight.
sorry, I thought you just break it. I didn't hear you, and I thought you just stopped talking.
Okay. No worries. Must have been just internet then. Break up.
Yeah, might have been. Yeah. No, it's so much shit happening. It's every time every time that we there's shit hitting the fan. It's not like Bitcoin. There's something going on Bitcoin. It's like every time that there's something that is disrupting, is screwing everything up in crypto. It's always something that is centralized, that is controlled either by one person or by a company or several people that own that company or that control over that. It's either greed, it's mismanagement of funds. I just find there's always somewhere that something screws up, and then if it's really really bad, like we saw with FTX, then it goes to the courts and everything like that. But everything that's happened, Terra Luna, FTX, now we've got this issue with USDC depegging. You look what's behind it. Oh, it's people. It's people that are behind it that are screwing it up, right? They're making mistakes, and for whatever reason, investors are not. They want to withdraw their money, or there's rumors about this bank being insolvent, or whatever the case may be. Everyone started withdrawing their money, and it was basically the last person that is at the ATM. I mean, last dude in the line, he's not going to get his cash because everyone's already withdrawing their cash out of the bank. There's no more money left in the bank. So we've seen this happen in multiple times in different countries, and we saw it recently in Lebanon. They just basically stopped withdrawals. You're not allowed to withdraw any money, only $400 a month. And this happens all the time. There's nothing you can do. And so now we're seeing this thing with USDC, and it's supposed to stay at $1 or, give or take, 0.00001. And it's like when I got your message, I was hearing some chat on Facebook about it, and then I was like, oh, here we go again. Then I got a message from you, and I'm like, looked at the price of USDC, and it was like 90s, and I was like, that's not good. So classic thing, people were trying to get out. Apparently there was like this one dude that lost like $2 million. So one of the guys on Facebook said that he tried to withdraw. He tried to flip his USDC to something else, or ETH or something, or whatever it was. And it went to like 50 cents. Now, so this USDC is not meant to depeg, and it did. And then it's just like everyone just trying to get out of it and get their money. But it all started with this SVB bank, which is part of Circle. There's also Bitmain actually is one of the investors in Circle, and so is Coinbase and this SVB bank. So there's some big players in crypto in this holding this USDC up. And as soon as we get this bit of news about SVB, it's like people panicking. Then it spreads like on the internet. It just spreads like 1,000 times faster than it was, back in the old days when we just had telephones. Not anymore. This happens instantly, and then people just started flipping out of USDC into other getting out of it. Now, this is kind of strange because I was talking to you about it before off camera about last week. I was reading these things, whether they were press releases or they were just ads. But there was this fight about BUSD. They're saying, Binance is doing dodgy stuff and BNB's going to crash. And because BNB and BUSD is run by Binance, it's going to crash. And they actually showed people getting out of BUSD. Like, we're not talking thousands, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, moved out of BUSD into USDC. And I thought that was kind of weird because this happened last week. Then the news came out that Binance USA got the green tick. They're brought above board to continue to operate. SEC said, yep, you're not doing anything dodgy. You have the money. You can continue with Binance USA. And I thought, that's strange. And then this happened with BUSD. So people were taking the money out of BUSD into USDC, whether that was just FUD, I don't know. Then was that fake news to get people to go back into USDC? Maybe I don't know, because it's kind of strange because now this USDC dumped. Were they just trying to? Did we delay this whole thing a week because of some of the money that poured into USDC from BUSD? I don't know, but anyway, the shit is hitting the fan, and it's always something to do with centralized entities. All right. And we've only got to go back the last 12 months. Take your pick. Terra Luna, FTX, whatever else I've mentioned in between that. Then now we got USDC. It's always centralized people, right? They're always going to screw it up. And whenever you've got these, that's why I'm really, really, when I see this stuff about these new chains and these new exchanges, they pop out of nowhere, right? And all of a sudden you look in there and they got $500 million. They got like $500 million. Where the hell did this money come from? It's like some futures trading or some new exchange, or it's something just popped up out of nowhere that we've never even knew about. And all of a sudden there's all this money there because they're either trading, staking, or they're still doing some DeFi stuff, right? And we're thinking, where the hell did this money come from? What the hell did this website come from? So whenever you have that sort of thing, right, where it's futures trading or whether it's just, people moving massive amounts of money it's just so risky, in my opinion. And even just to put money into some sort of DeFi protocols is so risky. And there's all this news about this crypto, about how crypto is the future of crypto is bridges, how everything's going to be interconnected with every other chain through bridges. So we're all going to be, you can have your Ethereum fanboys, you can have your Bitcoin fanboys, you can have all your XRP people and your Cardano, but we're all going to be one big family because we're going to have these U-boot bridges that can just link us all together, and we can all just communicate and send funds to and from either all different chains in real time, and everything's going to be secure. But the source of all this money that is being lost, billions of dollars, is through bridges. So, this is where you come into problems, guys, is when you start to believe these people that are feeding you this horseshit about all this sort of stuff, and you just believe it that your money is safe in crypto and someone's going to take care of your money because they're the trusted people in crypto. I don't trust no one in crypto. I don't care who they are, because we've seen clearly that these people can't be trusted. And just because they're people that are they're well trusted in crypto, I don't trust them. I don't care who they are. I'm not trusting them with my money, right? And so the only thing that I trust is something that is actually trustless, and that's Bitcoin. I don't need to trust anyone, right? It's not run by anyone. It's just there. It can't even be taken down by the US government. Who are they going to call? Oh, hello, this is Bitcoin line. Yeah. Who can I? Yes. Oh, you want to take us down? Okay. Good luck to that. But they can't even call anyone in Bitcoin to take it down. It's totally trustless. Yeah. So that's why we always say, don't we? Keep your money in Bitcoin because it's decentralized. No one's running it. It's actually run by everyone. And keep your private keys. So then there's no intermediary. There's no middleman. Just like the banks that we use today, and they can't stop you from getting your money, right? As the traditional banking right now, because if shit hits the fan, you're not going to be able to get your cash, and that's what we saw with just recently with this Silicon Valley Bank. One of the guys on Facebook, he posted about he actually did a drive-by, and he had his camera, and he showed the people lining up outside this bank to try to get their cash, and he's like, "Oh, there's another bank collapse," and he's like, "Yeah, exactly, just so true. Like, why are we even trusting these banks? Because it's not your money once you give it to them." So, yeah, I'm a bit of a Debbie Downer because I keep on telling people just to only trust in one, but everything else is there in cryptos for us to dabble in and keep us excited about it. But that's pretty much my take on USDC. I never had anything major in USDC, so it didn't bother me one bit. And I'm not dabbling in DeFi stuff where I've got pairs with USDC and ETH or whatever, and I'm trying to make my 0.05%. It's ridiculous. You're pairing something with something else, and if the price moves, you're going to lose money. And also the risk that you're taking on the protocol, if it gets hacked, and people have got millions of dollars in this sort of thing. Price of USDC depegs. That's why people were trying to get out of it so quick, because it's so risky. It's almost dumb, but people are doing that with their money. not me. So that's just my take on it. I don't know. You might have different thoughts on it, Garth.
I'm pretty much there with you with what you talk about. Yeah, that pretty much sums up what I was going to say about USDC. I wanted to add, I've just shared my screen there. If you want to jump in, I'll just share a couple of resources that people can check out for themselves. This one's called stablecoins.wtf. So I'll drop that into Discord for you guys here. I'll be in here. Check that out. So if we go back to it, this is basically, it gives you an idea of here's your symbols, all the USD. It tells you whether it's fiat backed or crypto backed, and you can see the current price. Now, even though USDT Tether, right, is at $1, yeah, I think I shared a video the other day of the actual people that run Tether, and like they have got no idea where the funds are. It's like, and they say that was made that way. Honestly, Tether is one of those ones that one day will happen, just like we see with USDC. One day, Tether the same thing will happen. It is just, they don't even have it backed by fiat. That's what's going on. So it is something that's going to fall over in the future. So, and we've talked about, even since 2017, we've talked about Tether being as dodgy as. But you can see the other ones. Yep.
You know that tweet? I saw that something on Twitter about that guy, and he's like, "We don't even know where the funds are." I saw that, and I'm like, all these crypto people that are in charge of billions of dollars, is this how they just justify? Basically, just.
And they said it was designed that way or whatever because they didn't want the backers or the people that held or backed it to be identified and stuff like that. And I'm like going, this sounds like ripe for a disaster. So it just sounds like they're just, when there's so much money and it's fiat backed, it always turns into someone stealing it or lending it out. And this is why banks are so corrupt. And this is why Bitcoin was started, because, of these situations. So this is fiat backed. DAI is crypto backed. Partially, but it did go to 95 currently because it had a huge holding of USDC. So because part of its backing was of another currency which depegged, that caused issues with that. True USD is paired well. It's still a 997. Frax is also a hybrid. It's been very popular. We don't talk about it too much, but it's very complicated how it runs. But it is a hybrid backed one, and it's at 94 because they had a huge backing of USDC. Everything else, if you go down, you got some algorithmic coins which we know don't do well. They can fail when they can be taken advantage of. There's one that's doing really well, which I wouldn't mind having a bit more, dive into, is LUSD. Now it's crypto backed by ETH, and it's called Liquidity is the name, and it's all based on. Well, I suppose the biggest thing could happen with it. It's a stable coin based on Ethereum, and it's pretty big. But obviously, it's a smart protocol, so something could be a hack or something like that could bring it down. But it's doing really well and has done. If we jump over here into DeFi Llama, you can see, some of the changes here. Probably in the last, have a look in the last day. So you can see in the last day, True USD, it's really picked up. So 50%. This is to do with, I believe the market. I think it's the market cap on this one here. So this basically measures how much it's gone up. So True USD has done really well. DAI has picked up a little bit. If you scroll down, there's Liquidity USD, LUSD. It's done well during this period of time and hasn't, as far as I know, depegged at 0.99, whereas some of the other ones have. But yeah, look, they're all these these have their time and place, but if you are going to be in a stable coin, don't be in it for very long. It's only for a transaction. You wouldn't want to hold in it for long at all. But, the reason why these exist usually is because people need to trade and they want to trade on exchanges, and they need something, that maybe there's like there may not be a market for it, because if you've just got Bitcoin, there may not be a market to trade these other coins, and that's why they have these intermediaries, and they use these coins here. So that's just something to be aware of. What else I wanted to cover? Just a quick look here. So yeah, basically the USDC right now is at 95 cents. But what's interesting is, you remember when some of these other big projects fell, what happened was when they depeg, it causes liquidations to happen in the DeFi space. So if you're borrowing money or anything like that, or you're doing any type of DeFi farming or leverage farming, the movement in a stable coin, when you expect it not to move, can cause liquidation events. So I expect to see a lot of liquidations that have already happened and will continue to happen in the space, and this will happen through all the different pools, because so many pools are based on USDC. They're everywhere in the DeFi space. So what happens is they will change their value, and because of that, what happens is it then causes a liquidation, and you'll either have to put in extra funds so you don't get liquidated. So this is a big risk if you're in the DeFi space and you thought everything was great because you're making interest on this, on something that you put into DeFi, but all of a sudden now the price has changed. So, and also they can suspend these pools, and so you can't actually take the funds out. So these are a lot of the risks around stable coins, and there's going to be, I suppose, repercussions of this in the next 2 weeks. We're going to see a lot going on with it. But yeah, I just thought to share that little bit with you guys.
Here's a thing on the liquidations you were just talking about before. In the last 24 hours, last 1 hour wrecked $865, 865,000. 4 hour wreck 2.64 million. 12 hour wreck 12.78 million. 24 hour wreck 47.47 million. That's only 24 hours. So, yeah, a lot of people are getting wrecked. So it's just really, really dicey when you're talking about. I mean, that's a lot of money. This is coin glass / liquidation data. So this is what happens, and it boggles my mind, because this can't be just individuals doing this. This must be, the money's got to come from somewhere. I mean, is this pension
Well, these
money?
are traders. On that page, there's 17,475 traders, right? Which is at the top. I was just reading it there. See, in the past 24 hours, it says down the bottom, in the middle.
Okay,
in the middle, it says in there, yeah. So there's 17,000 traders, right? And what they're doing, they're tracking all those trading platforms, like BitMEX and Binance and so forth. And so those are the amount of traders. And look, there's one trader there. You can see just below it. They lost 2.73 million on, that was one trader on BitMEX. So there's lots of, some of them are individuals, but some of them would be bigger players, and also it's accumulation of it, and it happens when the price moves, and they get liquidated out. And the people that win are the exchanges. The exchanges like this to happen, because when liquidations happen, they get to clean up, and they make a lot of money out of it.
Yeah. So excellent. Good to know. So that's that's what's happening. It's just really dicey at the moment. Really dicey. I don't get involved in that sort of stuff. So when this sort of happens, right, you got to think to yourself, what can we do? What can we do to try to make some money? A lot of the stuff you hear, take it with a grain of salt. All right, because I do. I don't I don't. I look at comments and I look at what people say, and I just like, okay, that's interesting. That's about it, right? It's good to know what's out there and what people are saying, but to believe them, I don't. I don't believe them. I just go with my gut, and so we got things that are happening in the crypto space. This is the last 7 days of what's happened. So probably a lot of this has got to do in the last in the last day or so. It's still pretty green, but I like going to this website, Crypto Bubbles. Gives you a good sort of wrap up of how things are going in the crypto market. So it's still pretty green there if we go look at the last week. So if you look at a week, 7 days, everything's down. So it's just a good opportunity to get into some of these, because I saw a lot of these really start to moon, and I know Solana, did well. It started to pick up, and there were a few others that really started to pick up, and I was like, that's interesting, because Solana did drop down to like $9.80 or something. So you can still get into a lot of these low cap layer ones, and now that we've seen this happen, we can still get an opportunity to get into these ones, because at the end of the day, look, I also read this thing that we are going to be in the biggest bull run in history. I think we will. I think that's true. The next bull run is going to be massive. That's just my opinion. I just think it will. We're just building up to it, and I think that we're going to hit 6 figures. Some people are saying, I read one thing, Bitcoin's going to hit 250K. I don't know. I don't know about that, but I think that we are going to see a massive bull run. It's going to be very exciting, and to take advantage of that, well, you've got to take advantage of it now, because these things like this SVB fallout, it's got this USDC. It's going to have a ripple effect. People losing money left, right, and center, and it's just going to trickle right through, just like we saw with FTX and we saw with Luna. People got wrecked big time. So money did go out of crypto. Some 200. Let me just change the screen. Something like 200 or 300 billion did leave crypto. So that's something to think about. So every time the market cap of cryptocurrency drops, it means that the money's leaving crypto, and usually what happens is Bitcoin drops, and it's just an opportunity, in my opinion, to back up, because that's what I always do. I just look. I stay to a pretty regimented schedule, but when I see things like this, where we saw with it's dipped here now, because remember, Bitcoin was 25K not long ago.
Less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, this is what you've got to do, guys. You got to see, so 22, and then it went like 25. Then it went down. Now it went down to like 19.
You know what? If you were trading it, okay, we talk about buying it and just holding it, that's fine. But if you were trading it, you would literally buy it every time there's a massive drama in crypto, right? Like a collapse. Every time it collapses and the price goes down, you just buy it then. You just wait. The price goes up and you sell it and you make some quick money. I mean, that's if you want to do that, if you're trading it, right? But literally, you could literally buy when on bad news and then just sell when it goes up. I mean, that's crazy, but
yeah, that's exactly right. We used to use that strategy with the coins. We used to use that strategy when it came to good news, and something. Then people picked up on it, and they're like, "Oh, let's just release some fake news." So the stuff that we were doing back in ICOs was like, we're not talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about lower cap coins. So then when the news came out, there was this partnership that would pump, or it was
or a new exchange, you would pump.
Yeah, it was new exchange, because back then Coinbase was
Yeah,
You
there
know,
was only
it
first of all, CoinGecko or some of the other big ranking. You had to get on there first.
yeah, and those are Binance. So this
Yep.
is what would happen. The news would come in, and then we were like, oh my god, and then as soon as we hear this thing, oh, it's getting on Binance, it will pump like crazy, or it's getting on Coinbase, it'll pump like crazy. So that was how we dealt with these lower cap crypto coins back in the day. But yeah, you're right about the news. Every time something bad comes out or someone loses a ton of money, buy up. So this is probably the best time to be buying up now because of the SVB and USDC. So buy up now, and then we're going to see this go away, just as we saw FTX, right? FTX, all that sort
Yep.
of stuff that was happening in FTX not long ago. Solana dropped to $9.80, and then what happened? It was like the news. A month later, a couple of months later, everything was just back to normal again. People had forgotten about it, and then the market recovered and went back up. Right? It's going to happen like this. Next week, people are going to forget about USDC. They'll be talking about something else. They're going to be probably talking about the Tate Brothers again, or they're going to be talking about something that that entertains them. Right?
Yep.
And that's what it's all about, the attention. So, yeah, look, we were 25 before. Now we're down to like 20 again. So it's a good time to buy. Get it cheap because you're saving like basically 20%. You're getting 20% cheaper. Okay. And yeah, and then what's going to happen is there'll be something next month, then be something again, something again. But long term, we've just got to prepare ourselves for the next bull run because I think it's going to be massive. It's going to be, well, here, like 60, 59, 69K. I think the next bull run is going to be over six figures. So that's what I...
It'd be interesting to see how many actual people were like, I don't know how many holders there were in that bull run that we had, when it hit those highs. Like, was it 1 million people or was it 2 million people? Just how many people were holding crypto during that period? I'm actually going to find out that answer while we're talking. But yeah, it fascinates me because at some stage we're going to have the adoption where it's going to be in the hundreds of millions of people. And at that stage, that's when the supply and demand is just wins, you win over on simple things like that, because there's just going to be huge demand for it and it's going to be limited supply, as we talk about all the time.
Yeah, well, so I'm looking at it before Bitcoin went to 25. Yeah, a lot of these coins were down. Obviously, some of them did really well, and then now we're down again, right? So then it's we can pick up a lot of these layer ones, which is something that I talk about a lot. So now is the opportunity if you want to get into something more speculative. You could probably just sink your teeth into the layer ones. Like I'm talking about the lower ones. The lower ones less talked about.
Yeah.
So you can hear last 7 days. A lot of these things are down. So I've heard some talk about this XDC network. Yeah, you just hear these things all the time. And when start people talking about it, you kind of like, oh, okay, you look into things a little bit more, take another look at things. Polygon, that's down 5%. So if you want to, invest into getting some of these coins that are, personally, I only buy the ones I think are going to be long term. So they're cheap now. So they're the ones that's it. That's just like, that is just what I do now. I don't care about all the fads. I don't care about the NFTs, the metaverses, the play to earn. It's my opinion. It's just all rubbish, and it's not long term. And I don't want to get into anything that's not long term. It's just the bottom line with what I do now. That's the way I think about it because I'm in here for the long term. I don't want to be investing into something that's short term unless I'm trading, and I don't trade. So what's the point in me getting, unless you're a trader, yeah, great, do it. But I'm not saying don't trade. I'm just saying I don't trade. I'm not saying you don't trade. If you like trading, go and do it. So that's what I'll do. I'll just get into these layer ones and these solid projects that are cheap right now. What did I hear? Solana was going to be. Someone said, "Oh, it's going to be $500 the next bull run." Now it's $18 now. I don't think it's going to be $500, but the last bull run, it did hit $250. So, we just don't know where some of these coins are going to go. So, these things will do better than Bitcoin. They will do like the return on their ROI will be better than Bitcoin because they're lower cap. So they can do that because they're lower cap, and it takes less money for that to 10x, 2, 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x. To do it for Bitcoin, you basically need to go to the trillions, multiple trillions, to do the same. But you can do this with these coins. Algo, a lot of talk about VeChain that pumped recently, but it's kind of died off again. It's down 16%. I wouldn't touch Terra Luna. I don't personally like Phantom, but people are talking about this the next big thing. I just don't like it because it's never really performed, and I used it a lot, and it just was clunky and slow, and it was just a bad dream. Casper, I'm still staking that, so that's down. It's probably worth getting to that. eCash, which is the old Bitcoin Cash, that's still there. So there's a lot of these things you can get into. Arweave, not Bitcoin SV, Ethereum Classic, that's still going. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the Litecoin and Ethereum, even Ethereum Classic to go back up, so then people can mine it again. So once Ethereum Classic goes back up to, if it goes back up to $100, and Ethereum Litecoin goes back up to 300. Well, now it's going to be profitable again because people can turn on their mining machines, and people can mine again and actually make money mining, which is something that's hasn't happened in the last 12 months because it's not profitable anymore. So a lot of these people in mining that were just had machines and they were just mining.
Wouldn't it be funny if all these networks that are using other than proof of work just slowly one by one fail and it ends up being proof of work is the strongest protocol? Of course, Bitcoin's number one, but the other ones that used to be around, like Litecoin, which are forks of Bitcoin, and a lot of the other ones, come up back through the ranks. That'd be funny. I think that'd be interesting. Like that
would be good.
A real turn to time.
Because then Dash should go back up. But that's true. I mean, you can't screw with proof of work.
No,
you can't screw with it. So whenever you can got proof of work,
rock
proof
solid,
of stake, yeah, and I like proof of work. It's just tried and tested. So I mean, there's these hybrid versions of proof of work. Yeah. So I like to see Litecoin get back up. Near Protocol, I'm still bullish on that one. This HBAR, but it's got a massive supply, and they got a big like their supply is massive. It's like a Niagara Falls. So I don't know. I just don't see this going up in value because it's such a massive supply. It's forever leaking. So definitely scarcity is not going to be the one that pushes this thing because it's got 500 trillion. So that's not going to, that's not going to be that. So you can just go on and on and on about this stuff because you can get into this low cap Bitcoin Cash, proof of work, So a lot of these things are still hanging around. Litecoin's dropped to wow. Litecoin $68. It was $100, literally nearly $100 last week, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on, let me have a look. There, yeah, look at it.
$100 in February.
It was 2 weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. It was. I remember watching it. It was only like $100. I'm like, yes. Hope this goes back up to $300. I mean, wishful thinking, but it's $100 now. So this is perfect. This is what I'm talking about, like Litecoin. So this would be perfect.
410.
Yeah. So this would be perfect. What I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about now with all this crap that we're seeing with SVB Bank. Right. This is the opportunity. It's gone up. Then this FUD with SBB, the Bitcoin's taking a dump. People just withdrawing their cash out of crypto for now. This is dumped. Litecoin's gone down. It's basically gone from $97 to $68. So now is the time to actually be buying Litecoin, even if you're going to flip it. Buy it at $69.
Yeah.
And flip it
Jeez,
at
you can make an
100.
easy 30 cents in the dollar.
30 cents in a dollar.
Wow.
And if it can do that in 30 days, I mean, that's good money. That's where else can you do that? 30, so let's just keep a mental note of that, Garth. See if you can.
We will. I'll make a note of it now, and we'll come back to that in a month or two, and just see if it goes to $100, and then we'll that's exactly right. I'm with it. That's a nice easy trade. I mean, look, when it back in December, just before December, it was at $60, and then went to 100. These things have floor price. Like in my mind, they have floor prices. They have prices that they don't really want to go any lower. Because people just go, no, I'm not selling any lower than that. And also the exchanges, they make money when they basically hit ranges. So they might hit a low range, and then it needs to turn around and go to a higher range, and that's how exchanges work. Most people don't really realize that, but that's why they have to have movement. They just don't stay at the same price all the time. Hey, while you're looking at that, I did do a search on how many users with crypto worldwide. There's an estimate that there's 420 million crypto users worldwide, which is 4.2% of the population. That's an estimate. So there you go.
4 point. That's nothing.
You can see. I know it's nothing. You can imagine like when you get 1 billion, 2 billion people using crypto and putting significant amounts of money in it, that's when it just skyrockets. Imagine if we're totally wrong about the price of Bitcoin in 5 years' time. We're thinking 100K or 200K, and it might just go to 1 million, 2 million. Who knows what will happen? Maybe it's massive bank closures and it all falls off, and then people just go to CBDCs and they go to Bitcoin. It'll be wild.
It's happened before. It's happened in the past. Remember, I just remember the early Bitcoin days, and I remember when we were stuck at $1,000. It was crazy. Like we celebrated hard when the first time Bitcoin ever hit $1,000. We were just celebrating like crazy, and it just seemed like forever. It stayed at 1,000. Maybe it was just that $1,000 mark. It's like, when is this thing going to go? And then and it was just like, wow, 2,000. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Yeah, party. We're partying.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? This is about 2017. Who would have thought it went to 69?
It was about January. I'm looking at the chart now. It was around about just the beginning of January in 2017 when it hit 1,000. And I remember that.
I remember those days.
We got in I think mid 2017 when it was actually $400 or $500. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was good times. I mean, but who would have thought? So this is what's going to happen with Bitcoin. People are thinking 6 figures, but you never know what can happen in the world, because there's a lot. 1 year in crypto is a long time, and I have always said that I think that it's going to be around about 7 figures in 2030, but I might be wrong in the sense that I've underestimated it. Which I hope I am, but I mean, there's obviously no guarantees. But if it hits $1 million before that, because now to 2030 is a long time, 7 years, and in a year in crypto, We know how long a year in crypto. There's so much shit happens
Yeah.
in 1 year in crypto. We're talking 7 years, Garth. That's a
Yeah.
long time. So
Yeah.
you're right. Anything can happen, and I hope it does. I hope it does well. Because here, look here, we got Solana's another one I was just looking at, right? Similar to Litecoin, where it went $9.69, then it went up, and then now it's declined because of Bitcoin's gone down, and then now it's like $17, $18. So it did go back up to $26. Now here's another one where you could get into. I mean, it sort of bottomed out. How can you pick the bottom? You can't. You just can't pick the bottom. But it was 16.59. Right. Here's another one where you could probably flip this in the next 30 days. If you could come into this, be probably better if you got into this the last couple of days ago, but still $17, $18. And if we get back up to if we get up to a $25,000 Bitcoin again, this is going to hit $26, $25 again, because that's exactly what happened with Litecoin. When Litecoin hit $100, we're at 25K Bitcoin. So that's how you kind of look at it. If you're not into trading, all you need to do, if you're not into trading, all you need to do is look at this market cap. Okay, this is how I tell. It's the dummies version of how to figure it out, right? When you look at the market cap of crypto, this is how you tell whether the price of something's going to go up and down. You just look at the market cap. When this increases, then the price of Bitcoin is going to go up, because the price of Bitcoin used to be a lot more. It used to be like 47%, but now it's only 43%, because technically what is happening, it's not really Bitcoin's fault that it's losing dominance. It's because these people are creating more shitcoins. So there's only one Bitcoin that just stays with its supply, right? But what is happening because this measures the full crypto market, there's 20 million
11,525 coins.
Yeah, they're all consistently making all these shit coins, and they're taking up the total market cap, and then a few pop off and do well, right? So in essence, what's happening is these shit coins are taking the market cap, only small, but there's so many of these freaking shit coins, and it looks like Bitcoin dominance is shrinking. It's not that it's shrinking, it's because of these shit coins. That's what's happening, all right? So I wouldn't be too concerned about this 40.3%. It takes a lot for it to go to 39%. It takes a lot, billions of dollars. I wouldn't really worry about it. But just focus on this market cap, right? And last time we were at 2 trillion. I think we're at 2.2 trillion or something. Bitcoin was I can't remember. I think it was maybe it would have been 69K. Yeah. But that's how you tell. It's just a no-brain, dumbass version of how to figure it out. Just look at the market cap, right? So, and then you'll know by default that Bitcoin is going to go up. So So what does this mean? It means we're under 1 trillion. So it means it's a good opportunity to buy, right? Because we're down. We're under 1 trillion. So now is the time to buy it, no matter what it is. And then once the market cap goes back up, we lost 200 or 300 trillion, 200 or 300 billion because of this in money that went out because of this USDC debacle. See, so that's why this has dropped. This was 1.2 trillion just a couple of weeks ago. So there's opportunities. There you go. Litecoin and Solana, there may be opportunities you can get in now. And if you want to just make some quick, fast money, sit on these for about 30 days. When Bitcoin goes back up to 25K, which it will, just a matter of time, then these should go back up to those levels that we saw before. Litecoin at $100 and Solana at $25. And then just take the profit if you want and keep the rest. That's what, if you want to do a short-term thing with these layer ones. But if you trade, obviously you're going to be right in there doing this stuff every day, but I don't really trade. So that's just some little bit of what I've noticed with these ones here that I look at pretty hard every day. And can't remember what else I was going to say. Is there anything else you wanted to throw in there, Garth?
And not at the moment. I think.
Let's see if we've got any questions. No. Okay, no, we haven't got any questions, so that's all good. If you've got any questions, pop them in. If not, drop them in the Discord, or we can always answer them later. But yeah, I one thing, what was it called? Open mouth syndrome or something. There's this thing, right? Did you see that tweet or something? It's like these people, the YouTubers. You know how they all got like that.
Oh,
They do the screenshots.
Yeah.
And that's how they basically get the people to go to their video.
Yeah.
Because whenever they go Bitcoin, they do this, open their mouth.
Yeah.
So someone did a tweet of all these YouTubers that did open their mouth, and then they did a put them all in this screenshot, and there was like, you could imagine some of them, right? And he called it open mouth syndrome. I can't remember what it was called, but basically it was like these people that talk about crypto and they open their mouth with their screenshots, and then that's how they get.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and it's like don't listen to these guys because they have this open mouth syndrome. And it's like, and I just looked at it and I'm like, that's so funny because there's so many. Just go through YouTube, look at these people. They're all got every time they're doing a screenshot, they have their mouth open because they want people to watch the video so then they can get views and make money. That's how they really make money. They don't actually make any money in crypto. They make their money from views, but they sensationalize it and hype it to the max to get views. I mean, I've watched multiple channels on XRP and Bitcoin, and that's all these people talk about. That's all they've talked about for years. And I'm thinking to myself, how does these clowns talk about Bitcoin every single day for the last 3 years? What the hell do they say every day? Do they say the same shit?
Yep.
One guy's got this XRP channel. I'm like, first of all, I hate XRP. And why? How do you, dude? Hey, I'll give this guy a medal. How does he talk about this shit every day? Well, he must come up with some bullshit to keep people,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know, man. It's just people. That's what they do. They just sensationalize and they gravitate to one crypto, and that's how they have their little audience. We know all about that, don't we, Garth? When we've seen a couple of these guys that we've spoken about in the past, that they latch onto one thing, right? And then that's.
Hey, look, and I'm myself. I've been guilty of that too, with some stuff, and it comes back to bite you. So a lot of those big channels, they're devoted to around sort of one audience, and then the problem is though that eventually those crash and burn, and their whole channels are gone. I actually saw a channel the other day. I forgot to tell you, there was a channel the other day who was who's actually changed the name of his channel, and now instead of doing crypto, and it's one that we talk about all the time. We did spreadsheets. Yeah, sure. It was so funny because he's actually renamed his channel, and I looked at it and he deleted all of his videos.
Is it Theta?
No, he's still there. He hasn't posted for over 6 months or something like that. But yeah, it was really good because he's changed it to options. I think he's trading options now. So he's went from crypto to a completely different platform because he changed the name of it, and some of them literally do that. I've seen a few change their names and anything, and they're not even in crypto anymore. So it's pretty crazy. And he had 20,000 subscribers. Yeah, I'm finding it now.
See, we see a lot of this stuff on YouTube. And we see these people, and they and we just like, oh, okay. But I mean, it's good to gauge what's in the market and see because Garth and I know all about a lot of these guys, and most of them, a lot of the stuff that we see people, they were just promoting all this shady shit, and we're just like, we see this channel, we just laugh about it. And then there's these guys that actually do a lot of value, but they just have one type of crypto coin, and then when it crashes, they're like, "Oh, what am I going to do now?" Because I've been telling my whole community of thousands of subscribers about this one particular coin, and now that it's like gone down the shit tube, what I want to talk about, so they kind of like reinvent themselves. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's always good to see what else is out there, but it's interesting, put it that way. So, put this.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. Good thing about what I talk about, and I talk about Bitcoin quite a lot. I mean, I talk about a lot of other cryptos as well. I like the layer ones because they're stable long term, but Bitcoin's like my thing, right? So put it this way: if I stop talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin crashes, it's not going to matter anyway because we're all done. We're all done. Okay, so it's not going to matter for me because we're all going to be down the shit tube.
That's exactly right. Still haven't found it yet. I mean,
right.
I got 300 things here, but when I find it, I'll let you know.
That's right.
But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Like honestly, with crypto and YouTube, it's like I just think of that, a Western scene, and you got the little, the rolling bit of grass across the desert. That's what I picture right now with crypto. Like anyone puts there's only a few that are putting out videos and they seem to get people watching them, but it's hardly anything going on. It's crazy. It's like everyone's like, there's no money in crypto anymore. Let's move on to AI. So then they're trying to make money in AI and stuff like that. So yeah, it's fascinating.
I mean, with my YouTube channel, I've just taken a break because I haven't been done any videos for at least several months now, and it's just when you do YouTube, it's really exhausting, and you know about this, Garth. It's just really exhausting, and although crypto is although YouTube can be good long term, it's you take years, and I've been watching this guy. He basically what he does is he does he lives in he's like a young dude. He went to Japan and he lives in Japan. He's got like a Japanese wife, I think now, and his whole thing is Japanese cars, right? And he started when he was like really young, and he did this YouTube channel, and now he's got like 600,000 subscribers, and that's his thing.
Wow.
He just does about cars, and it's his passion. And I thought, wow, this guy's got 600,000 subscribers. Then I went back and looked on his YouTube channel, and he started in 2016. So that just goes to show you. I mean, we're in 2023. Last time I checked, that is a long time. That's 7 years it's took taking him to get 600,000 subscribers. Now, obviously, he's making good money, but his content's really good, and I just looked at him like, good on him, because he's done videos on the stuff that he really likes, and he's been doing it. I think he lives in Japan. But long story short, it just goes to show that you can become you can make YouTube a source of income, full-time income, but it just takes a hell of a long time, right? So we're talking minimum 5 years, even before now. It's the YouTube algorithm has changed. It's even harder, and subscribers keep on popping off. So I don't want to discourage anyone, but you're really going to be doing your passion. You're really going to be doing something that you really, really like, or else don't even bother. Anyway, we're pretty much, unless you got anything else to add, Garth, I would just.
No, I think that's about it.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's what I would do, guys. I mean, obviously, I wasn't in USDC, so it makes no difference to what I'm doing. I'm not leverage trading. I'm not in DeFi. I haven't got anything locked up in contracts with other coins to try to make X amount percent per day and really high risk stuff. I just do the real simple stuff, guys. Real simple stuff. That's one. I'll buy Bitcoin on a regular basis, all right? And two, I hold it on a hardware device, That's it. And from what I've read and from what I've researched and from what I've seen over the many, many years, this is the best strategy: is buying Bitcoin at what they call dollar cost averaging. So you're just buying it, either weekly, or you can buy it daily, or you can buy it, whenever it dips. But just commit to something regularly. That's the key to it, and then consistently do it over a long period of time. Because one day Bitcoin, we're going to wake up. One day Bitcoin's going to be over six figures. Will I still be buying it? Absolutely, I'll still be buying it, because I know that if it can reach six figures, it can reach double six figures. It can reach 200,000, and then one day it will be 300,000, and one day it'll be 400,000. It's just a matter of time. It's in the algorithm. It's the mathematics, supply and demand. But think back when Bitcoin was only 10 cents, and those people were like, wow, it's 10 cents. They never saw it. They never saw it before in their life, because remember when Bitcoin started, it was only like 0.0001 cent. Then it went to 10 cents. Then it went to $1, right? And then when we were talking about in 2017, it was $1,000. We couldn't believe it. We blew our minds. It's like, this is $1,000. The lesson is here is we're going to reach new frontiers of Bitcoin that we've never seen before. And that's going to happen, right? So we're going to reach this breakthrough 69K, and we're going to go, wow, this is crazy. And it's the same thing as when we were talking about Bitcoin when it was $1,000. We couldn't believe our mind. It was like, wow, it's broken through $1,000. I remember that. It was like the biggest thing, because it never done $1,000 before. Well, this is when it's going to happen, when it's going to reach 100,000. We're going to hit that 100,000, and we're going to go, wow, this is going to blow our mind. It's never happened before. We should have stopped. We shouldn't have stopped buying it at $1,000. Now we're going to hit all-time highs. That's the lesson. Don't stop buying it. Just keep on buying as much as you can. Even if it's only a small amount, doesn't matter. Keep on buying it, because if we can hit 100K, we can hit 200K. Hit 200K, we can hit 500K. One day it's going to be $1 million. And we're going to look back and go, shit, yeah, I was buying it at 20K, that was cheap. 50K, that was cheap. 100K, that was cheap. So it's going to continue to go up over time. We just got to be patient and don't stop buying it. Okay, don't stop buying it. Keep squirreling away, because the way I look at it is, if you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin today, you're basically buying $5 grand worth of Bitcoin. Because if it does 50x, we're at 20,000. If it goes to $1 million, that's a 50x. That means you put your $100 in today, you're getting 5K back. Now, if that was guaranteed, obviously it's not. How many times would you do it a day? That's a stupid question. Here's $100. Give me 5K. Thank you very much in my pocket. Well, this is what I believe is going to happen. It's happening right now. Put $100 into it. Give me 50K. Give me 5K in 2030. I don't care. I don't mind waiting, because I'm going to try to do this as many times as I can. Smash it. Up till then, I'm going to have some fun. So just try to squirrel away as much as you can. Put it on a hardware device where there's no intermediary. The only one stopping you from getting your Bitcoin is you losing your dumbass bloody passphrase, which you're not going to do. So that's good. And you've always got your hardware device on you. No one can steal this shit. So just keep on doing it. Keep on stacking that Bitcoin. And all the other crap and noise that we're going to hear, it's going to be noise. Just stay focused on the Bitcoin, because it's decentralized. We don't trust no one. And keep stacking it, because we're going to get to that point where we're going to go, wow, Garth, it's $100,000. Remember when it was like $1,000? We're going to be like these old fogies on the freaking porch, in our rocking chairs, going, when I was a young kid, when I was, remember that? That's what we're going to be talking about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's going to be 100,000 one day, dude. We're going to be going, remember when it was $1,000, right? Well, it's going to be $1 million one day, and we're going to be going, remember when it was 100,000? You know what I mean? I believe. Well, that's what I believe anyway. Yeah. So, that's what's going to happen, in my opinion. We got to keep on stacking our Bitcoin, because this is what can give us our financial freedom, set ourselves up. And even if I'm wrong, I don't think I'm going to be that far off it. Even if it only ever goes to 200,000, still a good deal. We're at 20K
You're
now.
still going to be ahead. Yeah, you're still going to be
Absolutely.
ahead.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. So have a good week. Don't worry about all the noise. Just stay focused on what you got to do, and you should be good. Obviously, it's not financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor, nor is Garth. So. But anyway,
No,
guys,
that's
have a good
right.
week, and we'll see you guys next week, guys. Take care.
See you guys. Bye.